everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a round brush design for you on this green glass bottle. I'm going to be using two round brushes by Amagic. It's a number 16 and a number 6. A number 8 Deerfoot Stippler and a fine liner by Westonia. Paint I'm using are all FolkArt paint, mixture of multi-surface and enamels, using apple red, magenta, and cardinal red. I will also be using pale yellow, happy green, and thicket. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. If you're new to my channel, please know that my designs are intended to be very simple glass painting designs. I have cleaned off this bottle. This is a bottle I've been using for a lot of my videos recently. Like the surface of it. Hopefully it gives you a good view of what I'm creating. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and start off by putting my round brush into the darker red, which is the cardinal red. And again, very simple. Just going to be pushing down my brush and pulling up. Again, if it doesn't cover well, then you just can go back over it, maybe even paint on it, but not too concerned about it yet because I am going to be going over it with some other paint colors, I should say. So I have just, again, very simple, just going like that, push my brush up, and you get the design. I'm going to try to fit as many of these on here as I can. I do my samples, and a lot of times I can get more on my paper than I do on my bottle, which is fine. And you can overlap as much as you want, but I am going to be putting other colors on this, so I'm trying not to do too much just for that reason. Alright, so I'm finding that I can really only fit 3 opens and then what I put up here. So I'm going to move on to my next color, which is the lipstick red. And I'm just going to come back in here and go over it again. And that's why I say I'm not too concerned about the coverage at this point, since I am going back over it. And the reason I'm talking about the coverage is if you have a more opaque coverage, that actually will give your design more durability. And I apologize if my hand gets in the way. I am left-handed, so sometimes that's kind of unavoidable. Alright. Then the next thing I'm going to do is go into the magenta, and I'm not cleaning my brush in between, as you can see. I'm just going to tap some of this in, not pushing all the way down like I just did on the other colors. I'm just tapping it in like that, just very lightly. And I like this because it just gives it more of a loose feeling. It's not a definite, like, one strokey kind of painting. My thing is, a lot of times people will say, well, I can't paint anything. Really? I beg to differ. I think that you can. And, you know, with what I'm doing, anybody can press down the bristles on a brush, right? Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is take my fine liner and just go into my greens, and I can tip in like that if I want. I'm just going to come up here, come here, here, stick wherever I can get it to fit, and I always like to try to do more of a wavy stem possible. And if you want, you know, to make it look like these are connected to the stem, you certainly can bring in your little lines coming from the flowers themselves. That's fine. This one's coming up here. And like I normally do, I do some pulls from the flowers themselves. And this way, it just gives me something else to paint leaves on. And I'm definitely love my leaves. And I can do, you know, different, I don't all have to just be single. You can do some that come out. I got a little red on that one. That's all right. Not a big deal. All right. So then I'm going to come in with my little, the number 6 round brush. And I can even stick in some yellow. Just kind of rotate it if I want. With this, I'm going to be just pulling it towards the stem. Trying to rotate colors a little bit. Don't want to get too crazy in here because I actually meant to tap in a center in here. So depending on how much pressure you put on your brush as to how wide your flowers or your leaves are going to be, depending on what you're creating. If you don't want these all lined right up next to each other, you can space them out. One's a little, gonna add a little bit lighter light on here. And there you go. I think this one doesn't come all the way to the stem, so you can just go back over it if you choose to do that. Alright, so let's turn this a little bit here. Makes it a little bit easier to paint. And you can come down like this, just very simply. I'm going to add to it, make it fuller if you want. Up to you. And then I might just stick one in here. My thing is you could put some relaxing music on. Just have some fun. Have some girlfriends over. And collect your bottles. And I know I had somebody ask me recently where I get my bottles. I actually get them at a local restaurant bar kind of place that we go to. And when I need them, they just start saving them for me. And it doesn't take very long for them to collect them. That's for sure. Actually, I'm becoming quite fond of the round brushes. Used to normally just do my flat brushes most of the time. But I'm actually really liking these. Sorry, I got some red in there. Alright, so got some hair in there. Alright, so then the next thing I'm going to do, and I should have done this part first really, take my Deerfoot stippler, stick it into the pale yellow, get your brush good and full, and then come in here and just pounce. I am not intending for this to be a perfect center by any means. I want it to be just kind of rough. And I'll just stick it in there like that since I started painting my leaves over it. But anyhow, that's what I want it to be, is just very loose. Doesn't have to cover the whole center unless you want it to. If you want it to, then by all means make it do that. Alright, I hope you like this video. Quick, simple, minimal paint, minimal brushes, and you're creating something pretty. Make gifts for the holidays even. Alright, hope you like this. If you do, give me a big thumbs up. New to my channel, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. And before you leave, if you will take a moment to share this video on your social network with all your family and friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Just hit that share button you'll find underneath the video, and it'll give you the options of where you can share it. You'll be good.